That sound, you know the one. It makes your stomach drop, your teeth clench, and your wallet weep. Replacing a blown-out suspension system can easily set you back $1,500 to $3,000. But what if I told you that the secret to making your shocks, struts, and control arms last until the wheels literally fall off doesn't cost a single dime? In this video, we are breaking down 9 dirt-cheap habits that will make your car's suspension last forever. And stick until the end, because I will also uncover a secret mechanic trick that instantly tells you whether your suspension is secretly wearing out before it becomes an expensive repair. Let's dive in. Habit number 9. Slow down before potholes. Every year, potholes cause billions of dollars in vehicle damage worldwide, and suspension repairs rank among the most common fixes. Many drivers think braking through a pothole is safer, but mechanics know it actually makes the impact much worse. When you brake hard, nearly 70% of your car's weight shifts toward the front wheels. That dramatically increases the force on your control arms, ball joints, tie rods, and struts. And hitting a pothole while the suspension is already compressed can generate impact loads several times greater than the vehicle's own weight. Instead, reduce your speed before reaching the pothole or bumps. Then gently release the brake pedal just before the wheels make contact if traffic conditions allow. This lets the suspension move freely and absorb the impact the way engineers designed it. One simple driving habit can literally add tens of thousands of miles to the life of your front suspension components. Habit number 8. Check tire pressure once every month. Your tires are actually the first stage of your suspension system. They absorb small bumps before the shocks and springs ever get involved. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, just 1 psi below the recommended pressure can slightly reduce fuel economy and increase rolling resistance, while consistently low tire pressure forces your suspension to work much harder over every road imperfection. Underinflated tires flex excessively, while overinflated tires become too stiff and transfer harsh impacts directly into the suspension. Both conditions accelerate wear on shocks, bushings, ball joints, and even wheel bearings. Spend 2 minutes every month checking tire pressure when the tires are cold, using an inexpensive digital gauge. Always follow the pressure listed on the driver's door sticker, not the maximum pressure printed on the tire. It's one of the cheapest maintenance habits that protects both your tires and your suspension. Habit number 7. Wash the suspension and undercarriage regularly. Most people wash the paint but completely forget what's happening underneath the vehicle. Road salt, mud, sand, and gravel collect around suspension components where they trap moisture and slowly eat away at metal. In winter regions, highly corrosive chemical salts speed up metal rust by up to 10 times compared to normal environmental exposure. Once deep rust pits a high-tensile steel coil spring, it creates a microscopic stress concentration point. Over time, the structural integrity fails. That may cause the spring to literally snap in half under load, which is a disaster that costs between $300 and $900 per pair to fix. A simple underbody rinse every few weeks removes abrasive debris before it causes permanent damage. If you've driven on muddy roads or through salted winter streets, wash the undercarriage as soon as possible. Spending $5 at a car wash today could prevent a repair bill worth hundreds or even thousands later. Habit number 6. Keep your steering away from full lock. We have all done it while navigating tight parallel parking spots, cranking the steering wheel until it physically hits the hard mechanical stop. This is known as full lock. In a standard power steering system, the hydraulic fluid operates at roughly 1,000 pounds per square inch during normal, sweeping turns. However, when you hold the wheel tightly against that hard stop, it forces the fluid pump to bypass. That causes an instantaneous spike in internal system pressure to over 2,000 pounds per square inch. This extreme pressure spike doesn't just stress your power steering pump. It places an immense, artificial load on your tie rod ends and steering knuckles. Furthermore, holding full lock forces your front ball joints into extreme, high-stress angles where their protective rubber dust boots can easily tear. Once those boots tear, then grease starts to leak out, dirt enters, and you are staring at a sudden $200 to $400 replacement bill. That's why, when turning around, simply back off the steering wheel just a ½ inch from that hard metal stop to immediately relieve the hydraulic strain. Habit number 5. Rotate your tires every oil change. Many drivers rotate their tires only when they remember, but professional mechanics recommend doing it every 5,000 to 8,000 miles. Uneven tire wear doesn't just shorten tire life, it also places uneven forces on steering and suspension components. A tire that's worn differently from the others constantly pulls against tie rods, ball joints, and bushings as you drive. Over thousands of miles, those tiny forces add up to premature wear. Tire manufacturers estimate that regular rotation can increase tire life by up to 20%, while also reducing unnecessary suspension stress. The best time to rotate tires is during your routine oil change, because the vehicle is already being serviced. It's a simple habit that keeps both the tires and suspension wearing evenly. Habit number 4. Don't park hard against curbs. Speaking of parking, here is another silent suspension killer that almost nobody talks about: the curb lean. Thousands of drivers pull into a parking space, crank the steering wheel until the front tire is pressed tightly against the concrete curb, and leave the car sitting there for hours or even days. It may seem completely harmless, but while your car is parked, your suspension is quietly fighting against thousands of pounds of sideways pressure. In such a condition, a 3,500-pound vehicle resting its weight unevenly, instead of lasting the 100,000 miles they were designed for, those bushings can begin cracking, tearing, or separating in well under 40,000 miles. And here's the expensive part. A failed $50 bushing can easily force you to buy an entire new $400 control arm assembly. The solution is incredibly easy. When parking beside a curb, leave about 2 to 3 inches of space between your tire and the concrete. That small gap allows the suspension to settle in its natural neutral position, reducing unnecessary stress and helping your bushings, ball joints, and steering components last significantly longer. Habit number 3. Fix small suspension noises immediately. That little clunk, squeak, knock, or rattle you hear over bumps is not your car getting old. It's your suspension asking for help. According to repair industry data, more than 70% of major suspension failures begin as small, easily overlooked problems that gradually worsen over time. A worn sway bar link may only cost a fraction of a complete suspension repair, but if it is ignored, the extra movement can accelerate wear on the stabilizer bar, bushings, control arms, and even the shocks. The moment you hear an unusual noise, immediately perform a quick visual inspection or have a trusted mechanic check the suspension. Catching a bad component early can turn a $50 to $100 repair into a savings of over $1,000 by preventing damage to neighboring parts. Remember, suspension noises never repair themselves. They only become louder, more expensive, and potentially dangerous. Habit number 2. Replace worn shocks before they completely fail. Many drivers wait until a shock absorber is leaking badly before replacing it, but by then, the damage has often spread to other suspension components. Shocks and struts are responsible for controlling the movement of your springs, and on an average drive, they can cycle more than 1,500 times per mile over rough pavement. As they wear out, your tires begin bouncing instead of maintaining consistent contact with the road. Due to that, they reduce grip and increase stopping distances. Independent testing has shown that severely worn shocks can increase braking distances by up to 20% on uneven roads and significantly reduce stability during emergency maneuvers. Excessive bouncing also places additional stress on springs, control arm bushings, sway bar links, wheel bearings, and steering components. Most manufacturers recommend inspecting shocks after 50,000 miles, even if they are not leaking. Replacing them before complete failure not only restores ride comfort, but can also extend the life of nearly every other part in your suspension system, saving hundreds of dollars in future repairs. Habit number 1. The $5 silicone spray treatment. This is the closest thing to an engineering life hack on this entire list. Once a year, buy a cheap can of 100% pure silicone spray lubricant from your local auto parts store. Make absolutely sure it is pure silicone and not standard WD-40 because petroleum-based sprays will actively dissolve and destroy rubber over time. Turn your front wheels all the way to one side and heavily spray down all of your exposed rubber suspension bushings and ball joint boots. Over time, environmental factors like atmospheric ozone, road grime, and harsh UV light dry out these organic rubber components that make them brittle until they squeak and fail. A quick coating of silicone spray penetrates the surface and forms a durable, hydrophobic barrier that preserves the rubber's natural elasticity. Spending $5 on a can of spray and 5 minutes of your time once a year can easily double the operating life of your factory bushings and prevents costly metal-on-metal wear. But if it continues bouncing 2, 3, or even 4 times, it means your shocks or struts are likely worn and no longer controlling the suspension effectively. The bottom line of this video is your car's suspension system quietly absorbs millions of impacts every single year just to keep your daily commute smooth and safe. By adopting these 9 simple, zero-cost driving habits and proactive steps, you can save yourself thousands in mechanical bills and keep your original components working perfectly forever. Until next time, drive safe and keep wrenching.